You know that Choso guy from JJK? If you've read Jujutsu Kaisen, you probably do know him. And if you have not read it, please do, it's really good. He's pretty strong, right? Like, not physically, per se, but ability-wise. Like, obviously he's strong, but he's not like that strong. His strength is he's versatile. And his blood manipulation, he uses it better than practically anyone else in the series uses their techniques. Like, look at Gojo, look at Todo. Like, whoever makes maximum use of their abilities, Choso is definitely up there. Partially, this is for his birth, because he's only half human and he's half curse. And he's the only one currently alive, and because of that, he can convert his cursed energy into blood. So he won't run out of it just by using attacks, unlike the normal users of blood manipulation, who would basically have a heart attack and collapse if they attack a few too many times. Without this limit, he has access to a few tricks normal users would not have. Firstly, I mean the trick itself. He can convert his cursed energy into blood and mass, and you can't really call it a tidal wave, but like you can overwhelm your opponent with the blood. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, his blood is also very toxic, and if you get it into you, like into a wound, or maybe even getting enough of it on your skin, you're going to be paralyzed in maybe 30 seconds, and this will work on almost everyone. His half curse status also allows him to use flowing red scale stack, which is imagine Gear 2 from One Piece, but you can get it like Kaioken multipliers on it. Like, he can stack it like diamonds from Minecraft, and he's able to do it because he is half cursed spirit, and he was kind of designed to do that by Kensaku. Yeah, obviously this gives him a major advantage. He can even do tricks like putting more blood into his eyes, like increasing the circulation there so that he can see his opponents that are maybe moving way too fast. Totally did not happen in the story. When he uses stack, he's able to match even the strongest physical fighters in close combat. Kyuchi is like a special grade 1 sorcerer just thanks to his physical ability right now. He doesn't have any cursed techniques, he just punches people with cursed energy, and Choso is able to match him and even best him. Something that also allows Choso to match him is hardening his blood, and he can harden his blood on his skin or in his body to make himself more durable, even though it's a bit dangerous, but like it's up to a point where he can take multiple attacks from Yuji. When his brother got attacked by Yuji, I mean, he exploded. So Choso has a way higher durability thanks to just his ability alone. I mean, of course, he probably has more cursed energy, so he can just reinforce himself better in general too. But the funny thing is, he's not even a close range fighter, even though if he just had the close range arsenal, he would still be really formidable. He's actually like a mid to long range fighter, like almost maybe the strongest of those in the entire series. And that is because blood manipulation's biggest strength is convergence, where you condense blood and after a moment you can make like a combo move with it. And Choso and Noritoshi, who are the two blood manipulators, both have the same main opener, piercing blood. It's like a blood bullet or maybe like a cannon or a beam. It's not the easiest to describe, but basically the closer you are to the point where it is fired, the stronger it will be. And if someone is hit from close range, there's legitimately almost no one who can withstand it. Like, it will go through them. Like, of course, there are some people with hexes that, like Gojo, like, it's not going to go through limitless, of course. But outside of those fringe cases, like, he really, like, has an insane attack power. And the thing about piercing blood is he can also redirect it, but the thing is it's still using his blood as well. So once again, if you get grazed by it, you're going to be paralyzed in like 30 seconds. Even just a small hit will probably kill you. But the actual strength that Choso himself has is he has almost unlimited ammo. Of course, if he like fires like 200 times, maybe he's going to run out of cursed energy and he has to stop. But he's not losing blood. He's basically cheating the system. He's using an overpowered attack over and over and over and over. Even though it's supposed to be very costly, he just uses cursed energy to make the blood. His opponents are going to expect, okay, he's going to fire out 7 times and then he's going to be on the ground having a heart attack, but it's just not going to happen. Like, fighting Choso would be so confusing if you know about blood manipulation, because you're going to think, okay, it's just blood, it's not going to be toxic. Like, if I touch my hand on it, I'm not going to get paralyzed. And secondly, you're going to assume, oh, this guy is going to run out of blood. And even like if you have a character that's like fast enough to dodge piercing blood, like the fact he can redirect it and fire it pretty quickly again means that they are not going to be able to close the distance always. Like, you have to be really fast to close the distance on him. And assuming you do, that's walking right into his trap, because his second ability that he uses with convergence is Supernova. Because it uses convergence, it also takes some time to charge up, so that's a bit of a weakness. But it's a super strong frag grenade instead of a bullet. Effectively the opposite of a like sharp small beam. It's like everywhere now. And it's still poisonous, even though it has never like landed a direct hit. Like, his opponents are always shredded. Noya, when he got hit by it, he was immediately on the floor, and Jutsu was like seriously damaged by it as well. That's with the indirect hit, you know? Imagine if he managed to land one on your chest and then it exploded there, like it would go through you in 100 places. Basically, if you're not Goatso, you would die. Or Ogatsu or whatever. Because even though his blood is poisonous, it's possible to heal that with the reverse cursed technique. We saw Yuta do that. And so it's not infallible. Choso also has a third long range attack called Slicing Exorcism. You know the really big shuriken in Naruto in episode 1 where Mitsuki, I think. Yeah, it's that. Like, he can make it into a shuriken or like a blade. And the advantage of that is that it doesn't need convergence. So it's quicker to fire, but it's not as powerful. Okay, let's imagine his opponent just doesn't get hit by any of that. He can use Flowing Red Scale Stack to maybe run away or put the fight in close quarters if he thinks he can win that instead. Or harden himself to maybe tank the attack, and also he can make weapons from the blood. It looks like a knife, but it's actually more of a chainsaw, and it's, yeah, he's making the blade cut faster by spinning the blood. Imagine in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Cars did the same thing, I believe. So you're getting the point, right? The versatility Choso has is insane. And during the recent chapters, Choso also developed a new ability on top of these other ones. Goddamn, I'm losing my voice. But this new ability is called Wing King, copying his brother Eso. And basically he sprouts 4 small wings made of blood that he uses to shoot out blood in 4 directions. Like a snake or something like that, or a rope. He makes them home at his opponents. But it's actually like a covert attack where he moves the supernovas, because he can actually make multiple of them sneakily, and that way he can get them right to his opponent without them noticing or trying to dodge or getting ready, and then he can have a sneak attack there, and yeah, it's really powerful. He also learned how to fire out his arm, like detaching it completely and like connecting it only with his blood, maybe his like blood veins or whatever. Blood veins, I think they're called just veins, Will. But yeah, he shoots out his arm. He can grab his opponent, pull them, the default stuff you would expect. But I'm not sure if he's doing damage to himself or not, so it remains to be seen how actually good this ability is. He puts like stitches, I guess, like hardened blood or whatever, to hold his hand in place. Maybe he needs a reverse curse technique from someone else to like heal him up after he uses that ability. Now, heading into the weaknesses, the main weakness usually is that convergence needs time to build up, so the absolute quickest opponents will be able to attack him before he can use it. But this is like assuming you're literally like one of the fastest people in the verse. This is not going to be everyday normal strong guy. It's not going to happen every day. And the thing is, even if this happens, he has many countermeasures he can take, like the one I mentioned with the Flowing Red Scale stack, where he can put his eyes to like basically follow them on hyperspeed, and yeah, increase his physical capabilities way higher than you would expect. he was fighting Kensaku, obviously he's overpowered. Obviously he has maybe more techniques at his disposal. But the thing is, Choso has a really high fight IQ. And IQ in general, I mean, Kensaku is a mastermind. He made a son. The son is probably going to be pretty smart. But yeah, his IQ carries him in situations where you would expect him to kind of bite the dust. Like there are a few times in the story where you're thinking, yeah, this might be it for Choso, but no, he survives. He survives. His maybe a bigger weakness is water, because he cannot use convergence during that, and he cannot harden the blood outside of his body, but at least he can still control the blood inside his body, and if he manages to shield the blood from the rain, he can still harden the blood, even though he cannot make it conversions, because firing it would probably be a problem, but at least he can harden it and fire it out in a pretty obscure move, to be honest, called Blood Meteorite. When you think about it, all of his abilities are kind of balanced, like none of them are super strong, but the fact that he has such a versatile arsenal, like he is not going to be in a situation where he doesn't have anything. If his opponent is close, yeah, he's going to fight them. If they are mid-range, he's going to be extremely lethal, and at long range, he's maybe the strongest long-range fighter we've seen. Maybe Mei is stronger, or Gojo when he's like atom bombing the entire area. But outside of them, like, I can't really think of anything. Like, imagine Mai trying to shoot him with her pistol, and then he just fires the piercing blood and it goes faster than a bullet. We saw him like take off the health from Kensaku's head. Like, he disconnects his head from the body, and if he didn't spin his head, it would maybe like get a hole torn through it. Extremely lethal mid-range. Even though Norito Shikamo also has the same technique, it's obviously way worse. Even outside of him just having less curse energy and being weaker, like, he's also less experienced in it. Like, just knows what he's doing. And at this level of power in JJK, everyone else has some kind of a hacks. But Choso, he has a pretty modest ability. So what do you guys think about him? I mean, he's my favorite character. His fight against Yuji, his fight against Noya, his recent fight. It's just super fun. He's a cool character, good personality. The big brother stuff, I relate to that. So I like him a lot. I kinda hope he doesn't die now that I made the video on him. I got this microphone from my brother just now. I borrowed it from him. I'm gonna be able to increase the sound quality quite a bit. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. See you next video.